Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a great day when you're watching this, or whatever you're watching this, whether it's morning, noon, or night. I know it's been a while since I said I was gonna post a video. Yeah, but I'm here and I'm posting a video. This is actually gonna be a one take, and this is gonna be a story time. I thought I would do do this video today, since what happened to me happened today, and I thought I would do it as it's still fresh in my mind versus me pre-filming it and then like editing it and putting it up like later or whatever. So yeah, so with that being said, let's get into the story time. So today I did something fun, something that I've always wanted to do and I haven't been able to do like in a long time or forever really, was I got my pictures taken for my birthday. Just to give you a little backstory, my birthday is in the month of December. It is the 21st of December, and this year I am I'm stepping into my 30s. Yeah, it's exciting and scary all at the same time. So today was the photo shoot. We had planned this I think a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. So anyway, today was my photo shoot, and it was supposed to happen at 10, and it ended up being pushed back to 10:30. And basically what happened was I got up this morning and it was not, I just should have gotten up and stayed up. What happened was I got up at 6:37. I went to the bathroom and then I went back to bed, and then I got up around 8. And at that time, something my right mind was telling me, as the old folks say, that I should have just stayed up and gotten everything done. That way I wouldn't have to rush to get because there was a couple of things that I needed to get from the store that I hadn't purchased yet for the shoot. And for some reason, I just didn't listen to my right mind, as the old folks say, and I just lounged in bed. So 8 o'clock hour came, and I was like, I need to get moving, otherwise it's gonna be 10 o'clock and I'm still gonna be here at the house holding my photographer up. I'm pretty sure she has things to do. I had some things that I wanted to get done today. I wanted to put some Christmas stuff up in the house. I haven't really had a chance to do that yet. So yeah. So anyway, I finally left the house. It was 9 something, and I went over to our local shopping center to get balloons that I needed from Party City. I walk in there, it's early, they open at 9:30. By that time it was almost 10. And I walk in there and I'm like, okay, let's go find these balloons. And I was debating on if I wanted latex balloons or if I wanted the non-latex balloons. I have a slight fear of balloons. So I was just kind of do I really want to do that? Do I really want to put them in the car? I'm not really a super big fan of balloons, especially latex balloons. So I found some balloons. So I went back to look on their wall, because they have their wall of balloons that you can get, and you have to pick out the number and tell them what you want or everything. So I went up there and I told them what I wanted, and she was like, oh, well, I was waiting to be helped first off, because there was a lot of people standing around there. There was only maybe 4 people. I was number 5, and the lady and I heard her telling somebody else, one of the employees telling another customer, she was like, oh, it's gonna be about 20 to 30 minutes. And I was like, my shoot is at 10:30. We pushed it back because I was late. Now you're telling me that you're blowing up balloons and it's gonna be 20 to 30 minutes. You gotta be kidding me. On top of that, let me just back up and say that there were only 3 employees in the entire store working there. Also, it wasn't really crowded, which I thought was kind of interesting, because it is a Saturday, and I assumed that there are a lot of people that were going to be there because, it's December. A lot of people have birthdays or engagements or parties or whatever, so I assumed that there were going to be a lot of people there ordering balloons. That wasn't the case, obviously. So, and that's why I wanted to go early, which is why I should have actually looked up what time they open and been there at exactly 9:30 instead of 10 o'clock. So at that point, I was just kind of frustrated and was like, there is no way this is happening. So I left, and I was just kind of this is I was not having it at all. I was like, okay, so I'm not gonna get any balloons. This is great. By the time I get my balloons, it's gonna be I don't know, maybe 11, close to 12. I'm not going to my photographer. I'm pretty sure she has things that she needs to get done. I don't want to take up her whole day when this wasn't supposed to be. I was just not having it. Also, let me say here too that something told me yesterday that I should probably stop on the way home from work and grab some things. And I even asked a family member of mine. I was like, hey, do you think I should get the balloons tonight instead of tomorrow? That way I don't have to worry about it. And she was all like, no, because they might deflate, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. So your best bet is to get them early tomorrow morning. So I took her advice. But to be completely honest, there was a little voice in the back of my head that was saying, you might want to stop. Like, what if something happens? Like, you know. And then on top of that, they were talking the weather. They were talking about snow. And I'm like, oh, this is great. Like, what if we do get like 5 inches of snow? And so I was like, this is just, yeah. So to make a long story short, back to today, I got in my car and I was like really frustrated, and I was like, okay, well, let's just go to the grocery store. So I went to the Shoppers to go get, at that time I was talking to a friend of mine because I wanted her to come and help me out because like I had a lot of stuff. Not to mention the fact that I already had a suitcase full of stuff, and before I left the house, my mom was like, oh, there's some other props that you could use. You could use this, you could bring this, you can bring that. And I'm just kind of like, why don't we just get a huge U-Haul and shove all this stuff in? I'm like, it's for photos. It's not like it's not like, you know, we're building a museum or we're setting up a little memoriam for me. Like, it's not like I died or something. Like, it's just photos. Let's not make it over a big deal. The weather's supposed to be crappy today. Like, I'm already running late. I feel bad because I feel like I'm holding up my photographer, and I'm pretty sure she has things to get done. So let's like not make this. And at one point in time, I remember telling my family member, my cousin, I was like, I feel like this is starting to become a production. And she was like, oh, don't worry about it. I mean, it's supposed to be a big deal. Like, you know, you're turning 30. It's a milestone. You only turned 30 once, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I don't think you really see it from where I'm standing. And I think, to be completely honest, like this whole week I've been like overthinking and like trying not to stress myself out about it. And I think today, it just like exploded. Like me trying not to, it was a huge fail. So anyway, fast forward to me being at Shoppers. So I walk into Shoppers and I'm looking at their balloons and I'm like, all these colors are like crappy colors. Like they're your typical primary, you know, blue, green. And I was just kind of like, no. Mind you, the outfit that I'm wearing is like this pretty nice lace top and this like nice soft tulle light pink skirt. And I was like, I don't want no red, blue, and yellow balloons in this like, you know, with the outfit that I'm wearing for this photo shoot. Like, this looks really silly and stupid. Like, this is something you do for a kid's party, not for like a grown adult. You know what I'm saying? Also, on top of that, I also had a vision. Like, I went on Pinterest and like tried to find ideas about what kind of photo shoot I wanted and everything. So I found some, and so I had that plus like trying to tell myself that it wasn't gonna look exactly like that. That I just needed to go with, you know, just to make things work, basically, to, you know, work with what they had and go from there. So anyway, I went to Shoppers. I looked at the balloons. I thought they were disgusting. So I went over to the bakery section because I needed a cake. I wasn't gonna do a smash cake because, to be completely honest, I think that was like kind of childish. I mean, if you want to do a smash cake, that's up to you. But for me personally, that wasn't my cup of tea, and I wasn't about to have a smash cake in my shoot. Like, that's just not me. I'm more of like classier in a sense. So I didn't find that like really classy at all. So anyway, I found a really cute cake. It was small. It was pink and it had like chocolate shavings on top. It was a pale pink, which is really funny because it wasn't the same color as my skirt. But I was like, okay, it's fine. It's small and it can easily like, with like 3 big, maybe like 4 big slices, the cake would be gone. So I grabbed the cake and I left Shoppers. Let's just say that as I was paying for my cake, because I was in the self-checkout, that was a hassle and a half, and I was just kind of like, I don't really shop at Shoppers. As a matter of fact, this is my first time that I've ever bought anything from Shoppers in a very long time. This is the first time that I'm using their self-checkout. This is stupid. This is crappy. Like, the frustration was like levels. Like, it just shot from level to level. It wasn't like, oh, we're gradually, it was like, it went from 10 to 20 like that. So, and fast walking back to my car, I called my friend and I was just kind of like, this is not happening, this is not working. Like, I was like fussing and venting at her. I think I snapped at her a couple of times because I was so frustrated and starting to stress out or whatever. So I was like, well, what am I gonna do? So I thought about going back to, I was about to say Bath & Body Works, to Party City. I went back to Party City, and there were more people there, and people were still getting balloons and stuff, and I was just kind of like, you know what? They had small miniature balloons that you could get, but they were So I was like, I'll just get those because that way I can blow them up myself. I don't need helium or anything. So I paid for them and I left. And I met up with my friend and we went to the photographer's house. We got to the photographer's house and I told her what was going on and she was like, what? That's really crazy. That's like sad that all that stuff happened. She's like, well, can't you like, well, she was like, you know what? Then I come to find out, she basically told me that she had like scheduled the whole day. Like she had cleared her schedule and she was like, the whole day it's all about you today. So, and I was just kind of like, wait, what? Like I was feeling bad because I'm thinking I'm using up like your valuable time. I'm wasting for time that was supposed to be during the sessions, happening during the sessions. And I can't get my act together. And I feel like she's probably thinking to herself, oh, she's so disorganized, which is not true. I just made like really bad decisions and should have listened to my right mind. And so at that point, I was just kind of like, man, she was like, yeah, she was like, yeah, if you still want to get balloons, because I know that's part of, the shoot that you want, she's like, go ahead and get the balloons. It doesn't matter if it takes 20 minutes or 30 minutes, go ahead and get your balloons. And she's like, can you call in an order? So I was like, okay, let me do that. So I called in. And again, they were like, I don't know if we can do it right now because it's going to be backed up. So we'll set it aside with your name on it and you can call in again and then we'll like, start blowing up your balloons. And I was like, what? Like when you're done with the orders, you can't just automatically like start blowing my balloons up and then I call in and say, hey, or walk in and pick up my balloons. Like really? Like what? I have to call you back and say, hey, can you blow up my balloons now? Like, that doesn't make any, like, it was so random. So anyway, I hung up the phone, I talked to my photographer and told her what one of the employees at Party City said. And so my photographer goes, that's crazy. Well, can't you buy the balloons but have them like be blown up somewhere else? There is a local Dollar Tree that is in the area of the plaza. So she was like, why don't you go, ask them about it. So I was okay, fine, that sounds like a good idea. So I went back to the Party City, picked up my balloons that I paid for, which was really funny because I paid for them and everything. And she's like, okay, I'll be able to go and blow up your balloons in a few minutes. And I was like, oh, no. I'm paying for these balloons and then I'm having them blown up somewhere else because y'all are wasting my time. I've got stuff to do. I'm pretty sure my photographer's got stuff to do. I'm pretty sure my friend has something to do. We're not about to take these photos are like literally not about to happen. Like, no, y'all have done too much as it is already. Like, y'all are on one today. Sidebar, let me just insert and let y'all know that that they went from 3 employees to 4 employees since I went to my photographer's house and back. So yeah, so then I hop in the car, we drive to the other side of the plaza to the Dollar Tree. I go in the party section, which they kind of have like a pretty good party section to see if they have balloons. They do, but they have like individual ones and it's latex and they only have a certain amount of colors. Again, colors that I did not want. And I was just kind of like, okay, well, let's just see if they can blow up my balloons. So I had to get in line because I couldn't find like the employees, like there was employees that were checking people out. The manager was putting stuff away. I don't know where she disappeared to. There was another employee that was walking around. She had just shut down her register and disappeared. So I was like, what's going on here? So I finally got in line and I told the lady who was about to check me out, I was like, can I get these blowed up? And she was like, I don't know, I'm gonna have to ask the manager, can you step aside for a second? And I was like, sure, no problem. So when she was finished bringing the last 2 people that were behind me up, she goes, let me go call the manager or whatever. So she was like looking for the manager, so she turns and talks to one of her employees and she was like, hey, can we blow these up? Like she didn't buy these here, she bought these at Party City, can we blow them up? To which the other employee was like, no, we can't do that here. No, we can't. And I was like, in my mind I'm going, are you not allowed or are you just not going to do it point blank period? Like, where's the manager? Like, I'd rather talk to the manager than have some employee who could be lying to me and saying that they don't do that when they probably could. And the manager probably would have, even if they didn't, she probably would have been like, you know what, it's the holiday season. This lady looks stressed, which I was stressed. I was frustrated. I was irritated. I was sweating under my arms because the sweater I was wearing was hot. Like, y'all, it was a day. And so I was like, okay, fine. So I grabbed my stuff and I went back to Party City and was like, okay, maybe it's died down. I'll just go in there and see what they can do. So I went to so I went in there and I was like, let me grab another batch of balloons this time. So I went to they have a section that's like for like 30, like, their Sweet 16 area. They have like they have a section for Sweet 16 and then it's like 30, 40, 50, that kind of, and 60, I think. And so they had like a pack of balloons that were like, what did you get? That were like, you get four, I think it was 4 or 5 balloons for like $6 or something like that. So I went and grabbed that, got in line, and I was like, hey, can you blow these balloons up for me? And she was like, yeah, sure, no problem. So they did it right then and there. And I was just so grateful, so thankful. Grabbed the balloons, got in the car, drove back to my photographer's house, and then we started setting up, got ready and everything. And it wasn't like as soon as we got there, she was like, okay, we're gonna start now. Like, she actually gave us time to catch our breath. She actually like asked me questions on what I wanted to do first, because we did pictures and we did video, which was like, it was great and amazing. So I got ready, and then we tried to take a picture out on the porch, but it didn't work. So we went to like this little wooded area behind some of the houses in the neighborhood that my photographer lives. While we were out there, we were in the process of moving one of the balloons, and the balloon happened to like get it got free, and it started like floating away, and it got to the point where we couldn't like go out and grab it because it was like in the woods. May I also mention that the fact that it had been snowing. So it started snowing, I want to say about like 8, maybe 9. And by that time, the snow was like, it wasn't super heavy, but it was a constant. On top of that, it would like start downward, and then it would kind of like and then it would start snowing from the side, and it was like a little bit windy. It wasn't like super windy, but there was some wind there. So when the balloon like got loose, it literally was being blown slowly away. So we were just kind of like, oh, we couldn't go and get it. Meanwhile, while we happened to be out there, there was one of the neighbors that lived in one of the houses happened to come out with her dogs. She had like 5 little dogs in this big backyard, and she was standing on her back porch, I kid you not, in her backyard, like staring at the 3 of us like she had never seen somebody take photos before. At first I thought, you know how some people are, they stare and they're like, oh, that's cute, she's taking photos, you know, and then she's gonna go back inside. She stayed out there for I legit like 10 minutes. So she saw the balloon fly away. She's standing on her porch. She didn't say anything. And then she eventually goes, your balloon's right there in the woods. And we're just kind of like, yeah, we can see that. As you can see, we are totally prepared and dressed to go running through the briar patch to go get this balloon. Like, it was impossible. It was impossible. Mind you, this woman said this. She was like very rude when she said this. And she's just standing there like, well, what y'all gonna do about it? Because I'm not gonna help you. And I'm like, the holiday season nowadays, you guys, it's not what it is. It's not what it's like in the movies. It's like everybody is Scrooge. Except for, you know, us Christians out there. Although I do believe some of our when you catch us on a good day, let's just say that. Versus everybody else who's just, you know, bah humbug every day, it seems like. So yeah. So she's standing there, she tells us this, and we're just kind of like, yeah, we can see that. As a matter of fact, you saw when the balloon was like getting away from us, you saw that we were just standing there like, there's nothing really we can do. We can't really run and catch it. It's too high. I'm too short. My photographer, my friend, they're taller than I am, but they were still too short for it. It's cold, it's windy, it's cold, it's snowing, like, really? So then, this is like a long story, but it's almost over, I promise you. So then after she said that, she was like, well, that's just another way of, she's like, now it's in my backyard. Technically it wasn't, let's be real. It was in the woods outside, like her backyard was here. She has a fence. Then there was like the path, which is what we were on, and then the woods. And then the woods would be like here, and then the balloon was like right there. So she's basically saying it's in the back of her house in the woods where she could plainly see it from like her back windows or whatever. And she said something about how it's just another way of polluting the earth, to which we're looking at her like, you know, you could have helped us stop that from happening. Like, you could have gotten your husband. You could have trekked through the, you know, woods yourself, briar patch, and gotten it yourself. But instead, you stood there and decided to be just really rude and mean. So after that, we took a couple more photos and then we left. And she just was like really sour. And then we decided to take photos within the side of the house, which was really nice because it was nice and warm, and my hands weren't freezing and my feet weren't hurting because I did need my shoes on. But yeah, that's my story time for the day. And honestly, I don't know if I will be going back to that Party City in my area. Again, my birthday isn't until the 21st, so like, I don't know if there's something wrong with their helium, but the balloons literally started to deflate, like, since we were outside. Like, I got them, we put them in the car, we drove back to my photographer's house, we got them out of the car, they were in the house for maybe like maybe not even 5 seconds, and then they were outside, like, getting ready to be propped up and stuff, and they weren't working. And then we went back inside, and we warmed up and everything, and took a little, caught our breath, rearranged some furniture, and it was like they were resurrected again. It was so weird. So, this is the first bad experience that I've had with Party City and their balloons. Like, I've never seen or had that before. So, and also, the number 3, the 3 balloon that I had, it randomly made this hissing sound, like there was air coming out of it, and then it's completely deflated right now. It's completely deflated. There's no helium left in it. It's a sad looking balloon. So now I have like this 0 and a bunch of other and a couple of stars and a bunch of other balloons, and I think 3 balloons that say like 30 on it. But yeah, but anyway, that's my story time. I hope you guys like this video. I'm sorry that it's super long and it's super chatty. I'm sorry it's not a Christmas video. I promised you guys a Christmas one, and it just doesn't happen. But I hope you guys like this video. Again, I hope you like this one take. Leave in the comment section down below if anything crazy like that has happened to you. Any stores that you boycott or thinking about boycotting, or not. Should I give Party City another chance? Like, do you think it was the employees, or do you really think it was the helium that's going on? So yeah, again, don't forget to thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and again, I hope you guys like this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one, which should be out fairly soon. Bye guys!